Coming up on Fulton Today.
Fulton's remaining board members honor the memory of the late Commissioner Emma I. Darnell while the Board of Registration and Elections announces details to fill her vacant seat. I'm Brian Robinson, and I'll have more on this story coming up.
And members of Fulton's legal community help a local organization prepare and pack healthy meals for those in need. And library personnel and patrons celebrate the reopening of the newly renovated Fairburn Library. That and much more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. As the final tributes to the Dean of the Fulton County Board of Commissioners conclude, the preps to hold a special election to fill the late commissioner's unexpired term begin. FGTV's Brian Robinson joins us now with more on this story. Brian?
Shawnee, that special election takes place late this summer, but before looking ahead, Fulton commissioners gather with county employees and residents to say one final goodbye. What was planned as a memorial by county staff?
Rest in peace. You're already missed.
Quickly turned into a celebration of life for the late Commissioner Emma I. Darnell and all that she meant to Fulton County government.
She loved Fulton County government. She loved Fulton County government employees. She loved her church, and she loved her sorority.
Commissioners, colleagues, and her staff took turns sharing their favorite Commissioner Darnell's story in front of a packed assembly hall.
She often said that the citizens were the number one priority in her life. Next, 1A was Fulton County employees. So she cared about the employees. She had a presence about her as she walked throughout this building, went to different programs. Fulton County employees and citizens approached her, and they felt comfortable approaching her, and she received them.
A lot of folks that don't know her well don't know how really funny, but a terrific, wicked sense of humor this woman had.
One thing that I will never forget is that she said, "Commissioner Hall, I love how when I look over and I see you pull that microphone down, and child, you say, 'Excuse me.'"
We will now have to keep those promises on your behalf. We will now have to go miles before we sleep. We will now take that baton and go miles before we sleep.
After hearing numerous stories about Commissioner Darnell, a video tribute highlighted her journey.
But walking the walk to demand that the seniors of this community be treated with respect and that we die on time and not before time.
That election is hereby called.
Now, even with the loss still very present, the county's Board of Registration and Elections has been forced to start the special election process.
It's been properly moved and seconded that this body call for the special election to fill the unexpired term for the Fulton County Board of Commissioners, District 6, a term to end December 31, 2020.
The special election will be Tuesday, September 17th. But for now, as elections officials prepare, the chair that the commissioner served in for over 27 years will remain empty in remembrance of her selfless years of dedicated service. And just as the commissioner was an advocate for early voting, election officials say there will be an early voting period for the District 6 seat, August 26th through September 13th. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Brian Robinson.
Thank you, Brian. Meanwhile, Fulton's Board of Registration and Elections was also informed of other key items, including a summary of House Bill 316. As a reminder, House Bill 316 replaces the state's current voting system with new equipment that prints ballots. Now, before that system goes into effect for the 2020 presidential election, Fulton County voters will be among the very first to test the new machines during the November special election. House Bill 316 also allows for facilities other than government buildings to be used during early voting.
Any polling place that we use on election day, we can also use for early voting. It's just that most of those places will be unable to accommodate us for early voting because it's a lot different for, for a polling place to commit to 1 day versus 3 weeks. So, but it is going, the one thing that it does do is allow us maybe to have more outreach sites.
The board was also informed that the Department of Registration and Elections is in the process of revising Election Day poll worker training. Also, the total number of voter registration applicants received in 2019 is over 91,000, over 22,000 in the month of April alone. Meanwhile, there will be no special election to fill the vacant seat of Judge Gail Tucson. That will come by appointment by the governor. But despite her retired status, the former Superior Court Chief Judge continues to receive high praise. The Atlanta Bar Association announced during its bench and bar reception that Judge Tucson is the recipient of this year's Logan E. Bleckley Distinguished Service Award. This award is presented to a judge in Atlanta for years of devoted public service as a member of the judiciary.
To receive the award at a time when I have decided to transition from active service to senior judge service and to pursue a different chapter and a different way of service meant the world to me. It was an opportunity for me to reflect on my career and on my service, and I was just very pleased with the outpouring of support and what appeared to be an appreciation for a job well done.
Judge Tucson served in Superior Court of Fulton County for 24 years. From serving on multiple criminal justice panels to hosting mock trials for aspiring law students, the retired judge was known for her leadership, community service, and commitment to the law. Before serving as a Superior Court judge, she also served on Fulton's State Court and Magistrate Court. Well done, Judge. Well, the Office of the Clerk of Superior and Magistrate Court partners with Open Hand Atlanta to create more opportunities to be a public servant to the community. FGTV's Daryl Carver has the story.
Hairnets and casual clothing are not the normal attire for employees of the clerk's office, but on this day, these deputy clerks are properly dressed. That's because they're helping Open Hand Atlanta prepare and package meals to be delivered to people with terminal illness, the disabled, and the elderly who are unable to leave their homes.
For many, many years, Clerk Robinson has created initiatives for our employees, for clerk's office staff members to go out into the community and take our motto of doing the right thing the right way each time for every customer out into our community.
Last year, Clerk Kathleen Tina Robinson entered into a community enrichment partnership with Open Hand Atlanta. The partnership allows Clerk Robinson and her staff to volunteer at the nonprofit organization at least once per quarter.
Just having the teamwork around me and just the positive energy and, my coworkers and my staff, having that energy in here motivates me to go back to my office and deliver that same positive energy and teamwork back to, my office as well.
The teamwork continues later this year when the clerk and her entire executive team are slated to volunteer. Like the clerk's motto, doing the right thing the right way each time for every customer, they all believe in doing the right thing by serving their community. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Daryl Carver.
Way to go. Well, the term imitation is the sincerest form of flattery definitely applies to the Fulton County Youth Commission. A French delegation visited with the commission's coordinator inside the government center with the hopes of launching a youth commission in various regions of France. The delegation consisted of elected officials, student leaders, teachers, and nonprofit leaders who all wanted to learn about the work of Fulton's Youth Commission to create a similar model overseas.
It was definitely a great opportunity to learn about the work that they're doing as it relates to youth in France and kind of the common thread that we may have here in the U.S. or within Fulton County with similar initiatives that they have in France.
What's interesting is to see how young people have gotten to be in such a situation or another, and how through our different experiences we can find solutions to help them. Because my neighbor's problem can be the solution for myself.
This is not the first time other countries have been inspired by Fulton's Youth Commission. Germany, Brazil, China, and Turkey are just some of who have studied the Youth Commission model Fulton County already has in place. And coming up next on Fulton Today, families come together for a day of fun and community celebration. It's all in our district by district coverage next. We take a look back at the family day of fun for many Fulton residents thanks to one commissioner, and a look at how another commissioner helps one community celebrate its rich and long history. Here's this week's district by district coverage. Some North Fulton residents in District 3 prove that you are never too old to learn a new skill. Participants at the Dorothy C. Benson Senior Facility display their artistic talents by taking part in a painting class session. With their canvas, paint, and brushes, they created their own versions of a masterpiece.
The purpose for doing art is, first of all, it's self-expression, but also the primary mission here is socialization. And as you can see, people get to know each other, they form friendships that continue on whether or not they're in class. But generally, the art, the purpose of that is basically it gets you to see the world in a very different way than maybe you've seen it before.
You come here and you paint, but you can get into a conversation about history or any other subject. Very well informed, excellent teacher. And it's just a wonderful experience.
Activities are planned all month long in various county senior centers in recognition of Older Americans Month. Studies show that the more older Americans stay active and mentally engaged, the less likely they will have cognitive challenges. Some of the works of art will be displayed in the center. District 4 Commissioner Natalie Hall joins in the festivities marking the 100th birthday of one of the communities that she serves. Residents, law enforcement, and elected officials all came together to take part in the Washington Park Centennial Celebration Jamboree. Commissioner Hall brought greetings and presented an official proclamation to the Jamboree organizers.
This is a historic park because it was the first in Atlanta to welcome Black people into the community for a place where they could play and exercise and have a good time.
Washington Park is a historically Black neighborhood in northwest Atlanta encompassing historic residential, commercial, and community landmark buildings. The community is 2 miles west of the Central Business District of Atlanta. And finally, in District 5, a look back at the annual Family Fun Day sponsored by Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. Rain didn't keep residents and county employees from having fun at the Oak Hill Family Center.
Well, I think it's important for us to pause to bring families together. Family is so important, and to make sure that our families are, again, living healthy and active lifestyles. So today we've got activities for the children, for our seniors. The Bowden Senior Strutters are up there now dancing. It's just a wonderful day full of great activities from 8 to 80.
The day of fun also included a day of health screenings, but perhaps some of the most enjoyment came thanks to the kickball tournament.
It's been very interesting, my first time here, and I'm glad I came. And of course, there were other entertainments, and it's been a great day.
Channel 2 reporter Tom Jones served as the MC for the event, and he too had a great time. This is the 5th annual Family Fun Day sponsored by the Commissioner with the support of multiple county departments. Now you can catch more of your commissioners at work all this week with the rebroadcast of the Board of Commissioners meeting right here on FGTV. And still to come on Fulton Today, juvenile court staffers get creative to help spread the word about suicide prevention. Stay with us. The Fulton County Board of Health launches an aggressive campaign to control hepatitis A. The county agency is taking measures to stop the spread of the disease. This comes as a result of an increase in hepatitis A cases in the region. The Georgia Department of Public Health officials have declared an official outbreak of hepatitis A in Fulton County. To prevent further spread and reduce potential exposure, the Fulton County Board of Health is offering hepatitis A vaccines to adults with certain risk behaviors. The vaccine is offered at all 8 Fulton County Board of Health centers. Meanwhile, Fulton County's Juvenile Courts, Behavioral Health Unit, and its partners recognized Children's Mental Health Awareness Week. FGTV's Melissa Lewis has the story.
During the QPR training at Fulton's Juvenile Court, participants learned how to question, persuade, and refer potential clients for services. The training helped professionals identify warning signs of a suicide crisis.
Well, there can be a lot of people that are at risk in communities, and those running through the juvenile system may be a little bit more at risk, and so knowing the signs and symptoms are great, and they're going to have tools in their toolbox after today to help them prevent suicide, and that's really the goal today, and offering hope through positive action.
Following the training, a day later, the professionals practiced what they learned at the Honor Beads and Give Me 5 activity.
So each of the beads represent someone people may have lost through suicide, or if they have their own personal struggle. So we were encouraging people to just wear the beads and to honor those that, again, loved ones that they've lost.
The court introduced a hashtag during the Observance Week, Break the Stigma.
The main thing that we've taken away from this that I wasn't expecting is that people have been very open about sharing their stories about loved ones that they may have lost or loved ones that may have attempted.
Their findings show that properly trained professionals and residents who can identify the signs of suicide and mental health early can drastically increase survival rates. It's for that reason that the court recommends as much training as possible, not just during this observance month, but every month of the year. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Melissa Lewis.
And wrapping up our look at mental health observances, Fulton's behavioral health team sponsored an event called For Mind, For Body, For Healthy Love.
For someone who may be experiencing a mental illness, first thing is acknowledging it, and secondly, going in to get the help that they need, but also taking care of their whole entire body, not only the mind and the brain, but also reducing stress, eating right, getting more exercise, and paying attention to the warning signs.
It was awesome, and I thank her for the literature. Like I said, she was very informative. There was a lot I learned.
The month-long emphasis on mental health was a part of the national recognition. Fulton County and its partners offer several behavioral health services. You can visit their page on the county's website. And still to come, the Fairburn Library starts a new chapter. Stay with us, everybody. Fulton County Citizens University students learn how the county ensures that all residents are culturally enriched. Inside the Aviation Community Cultural Center, the evening began with a presentation from the director of the county's library system. Dr. Gabrielle Morley shared in-depth details and designs about the county's library renovation plans. He also explained the benefits of owning a library card and the programs the library offers. Then, while the director of the Department of Arts and Culture spoke, the class was encouraged to show off their artistic skills by painting anything that came to mind. While painting, the students learned about the county's arts centers and its dedication to arts and culture.
Yeah, this has definitely been my favorite class so far. I think it's just really awesome that Atlanta and Fulton County really supports the arts, and that it was really cool to hear about the special legislation that we have 1% set aside so that we can make sure we have funding for the arts, because the arts is what moves people. You know, it's what empowers and excites and inspires people to get out and do things.
The most interesting, I think, probably heartwarming part of it was realizing that they're taking it to the youth correctional facilities to allow them access to books and films and things that will further their education while they're incarcerated, and that they also reach out to the seniors and help them paint and show them different ways of expressing themselves in art. So I really loved it.
I'm also very excited about just the amount of resources that are available through the libraries, many of which I didn't know about.
And particularly in terms of trainings online and some of the virtual resources. I think that it's just an amazing use of the tools that are just given to Fulton County residents, and I think it's going to make a difference in people's lives. Also, the arts presentation was also interesting. I love this building that we're in. It's such an innovative way to use space, and I think it's just one of the many jewels in the county.
Next week, the students hear from the registration and elections team and how they are preparing for all elections. And finally, the Fulton County Library System celebrates the grand reopening of the Fairburn branch.
If everything turns out looking like this, I think all of our citizens would be very well pleased.
Before opening the doors to the public, county leaders and library officials marked the occasion with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. Once inside, personnel and patrons were given a tour of the library that had been closed since last summer.
The community is the whole reason we have the library, and they were involved in this from the very beginning when we had the sessions where they gave input about what things we wanted to have in the renovated library. So it's important to welcome them back, and we hope they'll come in and enjoy it for many years to come.
Highlights of the extensive renovated work includes a new community room, study rooms, a teen center, a children's area, technology zone, and quiet reading spaces, of course. As an added bonus, Fulton's Arts and Culture Department installed public art throughout.
I have been waiting for it for over a year now. I'm especially excited about the technology that I've seen, the architecture, the crowd is exciting. We're really pumped up and really been waiting for this here in Fairburn.
Commissioner Darnell would be extremely proud of a building such as this and of a facility that offers the services that are being offered here. She was a community lady. She loved this community and she worked hard for this community. And this product is an evidence of the honor that we give to her.
The Fairburn Library is the first library to reopen in Phase 2 of the library's building program. And before we go, our reminder that FGTV wants to connect with you online. Be sure to follow FGTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date Fulton County news. And you can watch a replay of this show and any other FGTV program anytime on our YouTube channel, so please subscribe. That does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.